So, Assalamualaikum everyone, sharing with you another major religion in the world, which is Hinduism. Then, regarding the history of Hinduism, this is one of the oldest religion in the world, and it is known as the third largest religion. Then, makes up 4/5 of the religion's faith in India, which is 1 billion. Then a derivative of the word Hindu is the geographical term, which is Sindhu River or the Indus Valley. So no specific founders, it did not have founder. Then for thousands of years, the region assimilated many cultural customs and practices, that's particularly in India. So if you look at the map, so yan. Then the Hindus' beliefs and the deities. Categorizing the religion of Hinduism is somewhat confusing. We have the term polytheistic. So polytheistic, this is the worship multiple deities or the gods and goddesses. Kaya nga, poly meaning sabihin many. Then we have also the monotheistic, which is, it recognizes only one supreme God. The panentheistic principles of the Brahman, so that all reality is a unity. Then the entire universe is seen as one of the divine entity who is simultaneously at the one with the universe and who transcends it as well. That's monotheistic. Then henotheistic recognizes a single deity and recognizes other gods and goddesses as facet, forms, manifestation, or aspects of the supreme God. Then they have also another term, the monistic. Ultimately, Hinduism is monistic, which is everything goes into one Brahman. So, one Brahman. That is monistic. Kaya nga minsan medyo mako-confuse tayo, but take note on the terms polytheistic, monotheistic, henotheistic, as well as monistic, so that will not be confused. Then the Hindu, they have the so-called the Hindu Trinity. Brahman, you have the term Brahman. I am Brahman, the source of all. It is the supreme being, entity without form or quality, then the soul of the universe, divine, invisible, and unlimited. That's the characteristic of this Brahman, okay, the supreme being for the Hindu. And there are three from the Brahman, may tatlong trinity. In one Brahman, there are also three, the trinity, the creator, which is the so-called Saraswati, which is the Brahma, the creator. Then they have also the destroyer, which is Shiva, the Parvati. Then the Vishnu or Lakshmi, or the preserver. So take note of the three trinity of the Brahman: creator, the destroyer, the preserver, Brahma, Shiva, and the Vishnu. So yun yung tatlo. Then the ultimate aim of the Hindu thoughts is to attain the universal soul or divine wisdom, which is called Brahman. Once again, the ultimate aim of the Hindu thoughts is to attain the universal soul or the divine wisdom. Universal soul, divine wisdom, they call it the Brahman. Hindus believe in the freedom of individually worship and guide on spiritual experience. Then the goals of Hinduism consist of personal conduct and the righteous living, which is equals to Dharma. Then the goal to achieve the moksha, which means liberation from endless cycle of the rebirth, called samsara. Yung rebirth, yung sabi na the reincarnation, reunite Atman with the Brahman. So that's their belief. Then the gods and goddesses. The ancient Holy Trinity, Hindus believe the three major gods who represent the supreme reality. They each look after the particular part of the human experience: creation, preservation, destruction. So take note of the three, the Trinity: creation, preservation, destruction. The Brahma, the creator, the preserver, and the destruction. Preserver is Vishnu, the destruction is Shiva. So take note. Then the Brahma is the god of creation. He was the creator. Then he is believed to have created the world. Although he is not worshipped much by Hindus, he is believed to be the most important of the three figures of the Trinity. Then Vishnu, the god of preservation, take note ha, Vishnu, the god of preservation, is all-knowing and merciful. He is believed to have appeared on earth 9 times, coming back each time in a different incarnation. His most famous incarnation was the Prince Rama, the hero of Ramayana. So meron silang kwento dito about Ramayana. Then the third is the god of destruction, which is Shiva. He is also associated with the life of transformation that comes through death. He is often shown either meditating or dancing. So do not forget the three Hindu Holy Trinity: the Brahma, si Vishnu, as well as the Shiva, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. So ito na yon, the Hindu gods, Brahma and his attributes. Yan. Then there are 10 incarnations of Vishnu. Remember Vishnu, the destroyer? So ang reincarnation niya, yung tinatawag revert. Kaya nga, the great god Vishnu appears in the earth in many forms, various forms known as the avatars. The descent, the traditionally 10 incarnations have been identified. Only 2, the Rama and Krishna, plays the significant role of the life of the Hindu worshippers. So tingnan yung 10 incarnations of Vishnu: the Matsya or the fish, the Kurma, the tortoise, Varama or the boar, Narasimha or the lion, the Vamana, the dwarf, then Parashurama, Rama with the axe, then the prince or the Rama, then the Krishna, the young hero and lover, then the Buddha, they have also the Buddha, then the third and the 10th one is the Kalsi incarnation, which is yet to come. So these are the 10 reincarnation of the destroyer Vishnu: isda, tortoise, baboy, man-lion, the dwarf, Rama with the axe. So yan, ito 10. Ito yon siya. Next is, we have also the avatars. Familiar with the avatars? May pelikula dyan. At least kinuha yan from this religion, Hinduism. The Vishnu has many avatars or the incarnations, so appears on earth as humans or animals to conquer evil and establish the righteousness. We have thus the Rama, the Krishna, Siddhartha Gautama or the Buddha is also one of the avatars of the Hinduism. Then the Kalki, darating pa daw, coming pa yan. So yan ang kanilang Hindu, the Shiva Naraja, the Lord of the Dance. So may sayaw-sayaw din sila. Then the cycle of the cosmos in the Hinduism, or life cycle of the cosmos. Cosmos is the universe of Hinduism. In Hinduism, the universe is continually created and destroyed in an infinite cycle. Within this cycle, individual life cycles and reincarnation cycles happen. The universe is created. While there is a lot of good energy, the gods emerge. And as good energy lessens, demons emerge and Vishnu comes to earth to protect. Then the negative energy increases, then Shiva comes to destroy, and then creation begins again. All the while, individual reincarnations are occurring all the time. So that's the cycle in the universe according to Hinduism. Then they have also the so-called Ganesha. Ganesha is the son of Shiva and Parvati. So Ganesha is the son of Shiva and Parvati. Take note, look at the drawing. A human body, an elephant's head with only one short tush. Okay, yan. Human body with an elephant head. Yan, ito yung tush, one short, ito. Then, worship as the remover of all obstacles. A miracle. Ito yung si Ganesha. Ganesha. Take note ha, the son of Shiva and Parvati with human body, an elephant's head with only one short tush. Then what about the origin? Nabanggit na rin ito at in your ibang topic, nabanggit din ito. Kay Indus Valley, then between 4,000 to 2200 BCE, then built houses for worship. They have stone sculptures and charms to warn of evils, then fire altars and animal sacrifices, then still practiced today, the ritual bathing, worship of goddess, then agricultural people and matriarchal society, placing a high importance of the role of women. So, Hindu matriarchal sila. If it is matriarchal, ang babae ang nasusunod. Then, another is the Aryans. In 1700 BCE, not agricultural people and patriarchal society. Ito mga Aryans naman, patriarchal naman. Then, worshipping only male gods. Then, the poems and the ritual texts, the called Vedas, barely sacred writings. Then, we have the so-called the Red Veda and the Atman. That's under the Aryans. Okay? So, once again, the poems and the ritual texts, they call it the Vedas. Okay, take note, the oldest scripture, their sacred text is the Vedas. Written in Sanskrit, most important Veda is the Rig Veda. Rig Veda composed of 1,000 hymns known as the mantras. Alam natin yung mantra, sabi natin kanina, a repeated action, paulit o prayer or a word or a sound na paulit-ulit. Then describe how to worship and perform rituals. That's coming from the Vedas. Then we have also another text is the Upanishads. Upanishads or Upanishads, the last part of each Veda is Upanishads, written by ascetics who revolted against the role of the priests or the Brahmins. Then Upanishads means sitting beside a guru or the spiritual teacher. So guru naman yung term nila sa spiritual teacher. Yung kanina sa Buddhist is the Dalai Lama. So we have the guru. Once again, Upanishads means sitting beside a guru. Then these texts differ from the early writings as they intended to inspire and welcome everyone despite their status. Then the central to the Upanishads is the belief of the Atman. Atman means the soul and how one can attain the moksha. Then we have also the epic. Okay? Yung sabi natin kanina, the Ramayana, the sacred poem about Prince Rama, an avatar of Vishnu. Then another epic, the Bhagavad Gita, the best love of the Hindu scriptures and part of the greater epic known as Mahabharata. And I think nadaanan na rin ito especially sa ibang subject nito. Itong mga term na ito, especially Mahabharata, Yaharam, Mahayana. Then they have also the legal codes. They call it the laws of the Mano. The laws of Mano contain some of the most important laws of Hinduism, such as the caste system, male and female relationship, the rules of the priest, and the punishment of certain crimes. So that's their code. So yan, take note on this. Tingnan natin the Vedas, the Rig Vedas, a royal song praising God, the Sama Veda, the hymns with instruction for chanting, then the Yajur Veda, hymns with instruction for sacrifices, and the Atharva Veda, the collections of saying. Then another thing, they have also the Samhitas, the priest commentaries. Then they have the priestly writings, the Brahmanas, then the Aryanakas, the forest stories. Then Upanishad, sabi natin kanina, 100 important teachings. So, yun. Then they have also the traditional scriptures, the law of Manos, the epics, and the Shagayad Gita. The epics, sabi na minusyon na kanina, the Rahayama, Mahabharata, and the Puranas. So, next. The caste system. Take note on the caste system. There are 4 caste system. Parang caste, the classification of the life of the Hinduism, of the Hindus. So 4 ha. Called the Brahmin. Baliktad tong spelling. Dapat Brahmin yan siya. Then the Kshatriya, the warriors, the king. The Brahmins are the priests, the academicians, then the warriors or the kings, the Kshatriya, then the Vishya, the merchants, the landowners, then the Sudra, ito yung mahirap sa kanila, commoners, the peasants, and the servants. Then the outcasts, out of caste system, the street sweepers, then the latrine cleaners. So, mayroon silang untouchable na wala doon sa 4 types. Ito yung pinakapobre sa kanila. So, kawawa din ito. Kasi, untouchable nga sila, the outcasts of this caste or caste system. So, the Brahmins are the mouth, the arms are the warriors of the kings, the thighs are the merchants, the landowners, the feet are the commoners, the farmers, and the servants. And so, pinakababa, maraming mga untouchable, mga pobre ito sila. So, that's their belief. Then, the people are born into a caste. And the caste defined as the social status, occupation, the dress, eating habits, how they worship, and their marriage partner. So, yun yung sa caste system. Then, traditional Hindu village, they have the temple, which composed of the Brahmins. Ito yung tamang spelling ng Brahmins, ha? Then the chief of the warriors. Then the skilled workers, the farmers, then skilled workers. Then sa pinakababa, the parahiyas is called the untouchable. The cleaners, yung sa pinakapobre talaga. Then depending on their karma, you accumulate during your life, it will affect the caste you will be born into during the next life. If you generate a lot of good karma, you will be born into a caste high up on the pyramid, nasa taas ka. If you generate a lot of bad karma, you will be born into a caste lower in the pyramid, or yun na yung pupunta ka sa untouchable. The caste system is a later development of Hinduism. It comes from the law of Mano in their scripture. The untouchable caste developed later and it's not part of the scripture. The 5 castes are basic divisions and each caste is further subdivided. The caste system is illegal in India, but it is still practiced in certain regions. For example, people in certain villages are not allowed to drink in a well water, but the other village on a higher caste, for fear that they will be contaminated the water as well as the others should drink from it. So may pabor-pabor din sila. What about the advantages and the disadvantages? So basahin natin yan. Rights are clearly defined and strengthened for each group. So that's advantage. Then self-governing, trial by peers. Then the roles of each person, each group are clearly defined. Then disadvantage naman, ayun, itong no equality. Wala talaga. Itong caste system nila. Oppressions of the lower groups. Non-democratic. Therefore, it's hard to rise above one's caste system. You are born into and you stay there. Then higher groups, great responsibility and punishment. Lower groups are limited to the rule and are given low expectation in life. So, yun yung disadvantage with this so-called Hinduism. So, when we call the view of reality, they have the term Dharma. Dharma stands for the ultimate moral balance of all things. So, take note that Dharma stands for the ultimate moral balance of all things. Baka lalabas yan, hindi nyo maintindihan, hindi nyo makuha. Then, Hindu's Dharma is played out the areas of life, religious, social, and familial. If a person makes a promise, the promise must be kept at all cost. Likewise, the faithful maintain the religious rituals while attending their family's needs. So that's under Hindu's Dharma. Then, but what if an individual goes astray? This leads to the next major Hindu belief, which is karma, in which palagi nating ginagamit ito, term na ito, makarma kasana. So this is a Hindu term, karma. Magabaan ka, another term, gaba. Then karma, have you ever heard someone say, what goes around comes around? What about you reap what you sow? Both of these saying mirror the Hindu concept of karma. Yung sabi ko sa inyo. Then basically karma is the belief of cause and effect. All actions have consequence. Once again, karma is the belief of cause and effect. All actions have a consequence. The good karma and the bad karma. If you are good karma, you'll go to the higher form, especially in reincarnation. If you have bad karma, you'll go to the sa baba, to the bulati. Okay, yun yung paniwala nila. Then how can Hindu hope to find redemption from wrongdoings? The answer is samsara. What about samsara? Take note, samsara is commonly known as the endless cycle of reincarnation. If the cycle of life, it is the cycle of life and death, rebirth, which is a person carries his or her own karma. Good actions build up good karma, bad actions build up bad karma. When a person dies, if they have built up more good karma than bad karma, they are reborn into higher caste. A farmer might be reincarnated to a merchant. That's an example. Then if they have built up more bad karmas, they are reborn into the lower case. A priest might be reincarnated to a merchant. So, magbaba din. Then what happens then? When a person becomes purified, is reincarnation an eternal process, or is there another realm? The answer is moksha. And what about this moksha for them? Moksha is the liberation of the samsara. Samsara, the reincarnation. And the uniting of Atman. Atman, do not forget this one, the human soul with the Brahman. Brahman is the ultimate soul, which is truly real. However, true reality is obscured by Maya. Maya is the illusion and distraction that stops us from perceiving reality. So once again, itong term nila na Maya, the illusion and distraction that stops them from perceiving reality. So another question. So how does one escape from the Maya, the illusions and distractions of life? According to Hindus, there are 3 paths of salvation. So pwede palang maligtas yun. Itong the distractions and illusions, yung Maya na yung tinatawag nila. The path of knowledge. So pwedeng maligtas daw. Then salvation is attained through enlightenment, which is achieved through deep meditation or yoga. Joining of mind, body, and spirit. Kaya itong yoga, pinapractice din sa karamihan, a simple exercise and meditation. So, the physical meditation, throughout physical exercise, control breathing, then the mental meditation by concentrating on the certain images, all the mandals, so the specific sounds, mantras. So, mantras, ito yung inuulit nila. When they meditate, itong mga Hindu, siguro makita nyo sa YouTube, you can search paulit-ulit yan, yun yung mantra nila. Then the path to devotion. Salvation is attained by giving total devotions to a particular God. This devotion involves rituals, prayers, and offerings to God. So yun yung isa din sa paraan na pwedeng maligtas sa Maya. Then we have also the path of action. Salvation is attained fulfilling one's duty of society, followed by self-denial. The path is open only to those people higher caste. It has a 4 basic stage. So ito na yan. May stages din yon. The path of action. A student stage, a householder, a retiree, and a spiritual pilgrim or a wanderer. So yun yung 4 basic stages of this path of action. If these people, they are in the higher caste. Then as a summary, if you live the dharma or your duties according to your karma or the law, you'll have to achieve the moksha or liberation from samsara or reincarnation. To do this, you must leave behind the maya or the illusions or the distraction. So yun yung ating diniscuss kanina. So with that, thank you very much. God bless. I hope you learned something about Hinduism. Dalaygo ng Diyos.